Next one.
And it's wet.
This guy is bigger. This guy is legal. Tell by looking at him straight away. This guy is 97.
He's great.
And he is a lovely colour blue. We are going to cook this guy.
Hello and welcome back to the FishLocker kitchen. So we're going to do a lobster clean and cook that James and John brought home from the pots. We're going to do it in a slightly different way to our usual roll and boil. We're actually going to roast it. So we're going to pop him in the freezer. I can't remember if it was him. It is now anyway. For about 10 minutes, and that's just going to kind of put it into like a coma state so that when we dispatch it, it is one of the more humane ways to do it. So we're going to pop it in the freezer, and then we're simply going to cut it down the middle into two, crack the claws, and then pop them in the oven. So we'll take you through it, but I'm going to get John to do the cutting down the middle bit, just because he's obviously the muscles behind all of this. So we will get him in the freezer. Once he's chilled out, we will get him prepared.
Here is the lobster.
Hello.
I'm waving at you. And all I've done is I've just got the bottom drawer out of the freezer. Just put a towel in there, look. And we'll just put him in the freezer for 10 minutes. Right there. He's been in the freezer and you can see he's out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and you're going to go in. You need a strong, hard knife. A flexible one won't work. And I'm going to go in just where this crosses here. I'm going to go straight in and then forward and then straight back in, and you're going to cut the full length of the lobster. And then all the way right down the middle. You can see now why you need a hard knife.
All the way from the central line.
All the way down the central line, well done. Right. There is a little pull track line that runs down the centre there. If you can get it out, this was slightly off centre so it didn't get it all, but there you can see it.
What did he do?
It's just an intestine line. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wash out. These are just the intestines. We don't eat the internal organs of any of the shellfish that we eat. You can see how clean that is now.
Yes.
I think it was his insides, James. It was his stomach and the intestines.
And his brain.
Maybe.
All the big bits. I told the big brain. This is brain.
Yeah, look, see, nice and clean.
Yes, we're Batman or Tardans.
Can I get in then? Okay, so John has opened up the lobster, and I have an apprentice today that wants to help cook.
I
So
am.
James is going to help me. So you've seen John cut the lobster into two halves. What we're going to do is we're going to crack the claws slightly, so just to open them up a little bit, because we're going to butter baste the two halves before we put them into the oven. So if you crack the claws, it just means that the butter can get into the flesh. Now, the reason that we're going to give roasting a go is because it just alters the flavour slightly. So whenever you add water to protein, so water to meat, you're diluting the flavour a little bit. So by boiling the lobster, you could actually compromise the flavour. Now, I do think it's still delicious boiled, so it will be interesting to see what a difference roasting it makes. So obviously using a drier cooking method should help preserve the natural flavour of it. So you could grill it or roast it. We're going to give roasting a go. Okay, so to do the butter baste, what we're going to do is just melt some butter. So we can just brush it on before it goes in the oven, and then once during cooking we are going to rebaste it. Right, so we need to crack these claws, James.
Yes.
You don't need a knife, sweetheart. Put your knife down there. Right, you're going to help me with this? So we're just going to use a rolling pin. We're literally just going to smash them a bit.
Yes.
Ready? You got hold? Right, ready? 1, 2, 3. A little bit more. Ready? There we go. So they've just opened up a little bit. So it just means when we baste them, the butter can get down inside there. Right, you ready, James?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just check. Make sure we're in shot. Yes.
I put it down.
Come over here now. So James is going to help us butter baste the lobster. So with a pastry brush or something, you melted butter. I'm just going to baste the lobster with it. Now, you want a really hot oven to do this. We have preheated to about 240. And you're only going to roast it for about 10 minutes. And you almost want to very slightly undercook it. Now, not undercook it in that it's half raw, but obviously when you would boil it, you'd normally plunge it into an ice bath to stop the cooking process. Because it's in a shell, it's going to hold the heat. And we're going to be eating it out of the shell. So it's going to keep cooking for a little bit after. And we don't want a rubbery, overcooked lobster, do we, James?
No.
Now, while it's in the oven, James and I are going to make a lemon vinaigrette. Just so we can dip the meat in as we eat it.
I like to need to wait.
Yeah. Or you could make like a green herb mayonnaise. So just a mayonnaise with some basil or coriander or something. There we go. So we're going to pop it in for 5 minutes.
And me?
And then we're going to rebaste it. Right, James?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make a lemon vinaigrette to dip it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grate off some of the lemon zest.
Yes.
Can you split it between the 2 bowls? I'm going to make 2 bowls of it. Okay, you start sprinkling it into the pots. Good boy.
But these are not my pots.
No, those are just to put our juice in. To put our sauce in. Okay, right. That should be plenty. That's it. Split it out between the 2 pots and then you can squeeze the juice in. So it's really simple. So it's just lemon, olive oil,
And pepper.
pepper and mustard.
Yes, mustard.
Yes, mustard.
Mustard.
You can make a garlic butter, like I said, a herb mayonnaise. You can make the homemade tartar sauce. Right, you ready to squeeze some lemon juice in? Where are you
Yes.
going?
Okay.
Right, squeeze that one into that pot. Oh. I'm waiting for you to take it. Let go, let go. You got all the zest on there now. Right, ready?
Yes.
Ready? Gonna squeeze. Squeeze, James. There we go. Ready? Oh no, we don't want a pip in there, do we? Right, ready to do the next one? Let's squeeze this one.
Yes.
Ready? Steady, big squeeze. There we go. Yeah. Right, no pips. No pips. Right, a little bit of English mustard
And this mustard.
into each one. Did you get lemon juice in the cup? So, just a little bit to spice the taste up. That's all that. Put in there. Right, now some olive oil, James, and then you're going to mix for us. You okay? It's stinging. Right, you ready? You pour it in? And this one? It was disgusting.
Yes.
It's going to taste lovely though. Mix. We'll add in some pepper.
The seeds turn into the hours. Seeds turn into hours.
Just going to give it another baste, aren't we, with some more butter, but shall I do this one because that tray is so hot now, isn't it?
Yes.
You can see how the meat's just starting to pop up out of the shell, so that's cooking along nicely. And just give it another buttering. And we've got our vinaigrette ready to go. Make sure that butter gets down into those cracked claws. There we go. That only needs barely another 5 minutes now. I'll just show you a bit closer. There we go. So you can see just how the meat is starting to pop up out of the shell. Out the oven. Looking and smelling amazing. So James, are we going to get this onto the plate?
That's a tweezy. No, we see what's Mum.
Why does it look weird?
Oh. Sounds crazy, guess what? What's how crazy so much, Mum?
Pretty good to me. Let's get our hand up.
Yeah.
Boy.
Here?
For the other two. Here we go. Roasted lobster. Not looking too bad.
No.
What do you think?
And which bits did you cook? Did you give the claws a bit of a knock?
Yes.
That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, what we need to do now is get this lobster out here.
No.
Wow.
I'm not going to eat the meat.
Wow.
I'm not going to eat the meat, Dad.
You don't want to try
That's
some? Okay. I'll try some now.
I'm going to eat the weights.
Oh, it's gorgeous, that.
See what's weird, Mum.
Right, so James,
Yes.
what do you reckon to your first cooking video?
It
Are
was
you happy with how it's turned out?
awesome.
Excited to try it?
Yeah.
So, let us know if you give this method of cooking a try and what you think of it. And we will see you next time. What do we say?
Bye from the fish water.
Bye from the FishLocker kitchen.